Welcome to the replay. Hello, tea family. How is everyone out there on my tea family today? Hoping everybody's doing well. Welcome to the replay if you're not here live. But other than that, hello, tea family. Missed you. Haven't talked to you in like a week. Although I did do a short reel earlier today, so you may have seen me. I just wanted to say thanks for joining us today, despite the fact that it's the big football day game. My team's not in it, so although I do have one I'm kind of rooting for, we'll see what happens. For those of you that are new, or those of you that join me on a regular basis, just as a reminder, we're going to talk about tea today. We are going to, in fact, I'm going to make a green tea today, so I usually like green teas at this point in the day, but what we're going to do is, if you're drinking some tea, feel free to share that in the comments. If you have a question, please put that in the comments and we will get that answered. I've started the water. We're going to make a green tea. So I do want to say that we are definitely going to do, and I can't even find it now because that's how the day goes, we're doing Winter's Kiss. And if my handy dandy assistant will run over there and grab one of the packages so you can see what's in it, yeah, that kind of a day. So that's what we're doing. This is our green tea, strawberry, cinnamon, and rose petal tea. This is what we made last year for Valentine's Day. And since it is Valentine's Day this week, hint, hint, if you forgot, we're going to definitely want to drink this. Now, there we go. Let me see if I'll open up a package.
Kim says she's drinking Winter's Kiss.
Oh, Kim's drinking Winter's Kiss too. Yay, Kim. Awesome. So can you grab the Winter's Kiss that's right up there for me, please? Not organized at all today. That's not how it's working. It's been a day. All right, so here's what it looks like for those of you who are just joining us. Winter's Kiss. That's what it looks like. All those red berry pieces are strawberries that have been freeze-dried. So we're starting that. Now, today I said we were going to talk about tea accessories, and I said we're going to talk about a specific kind that not a lot of people mention. Now, I know I've used my infuser on here, and we've talked about different things for straining, stuff like that, but I wanted to talk slightly larger picture. I wanted to talk about teapots in large batches of tea. What do you do for that? Because there's a couple of different ways. I always feel like I'm competing with the water heating up. So a lot of people know that there's teapots like this, right? And they have this great infuser right in there. So you can put the tea in, you pour the water in, you let it brew for however much time, you put this aside, and you're golden. But not everybody has one of these, and this is a great accessory. I do prefer these now, if possible, but they don't have the same, I don't know, the same look and feel as, say, a teapot like this that doesn't have the infuser. Now, I could take and open this up and put one of my basket infusers in here like you've seen me do with my cups so often. But that is perfectly acceptable. One of the things that I wanted to talk about a little bit today is, what if I didn't have a basket infuser? Like, you know, they didn't always exist. So what's a little more traditional way to make tea? Preparing for a more traditional tea. Anyway, so we're going to let this heat up, but I have this, and you can see it's much bigger. It is definitely not the 2.5 grams. This is a 3 to 4 cup scoop for a black or a green tea. Hence the reason why, since Winter's Kiss is that. And I'm going to do something that you don't normally see me do. I have a stand that I made out of my tea containers. And I'm literally going to take an entire big spoonful of this. There you go. And I'm literally just going to put it in there. And remember, a little more on the Winter's Kiss, little like a heaping spoon, because the dehydrated strawberries, or excuse me, the freeze-dried strawberries make a bigger batch. But like literally I just dumped the tea in the teapot. Now I don't want to pick that tea out while I'm pouring, and I don't want it to get stuck or anything, but what we are going to do, I lost the cover to the tea somehow on this tiny little desk. It's all good. It's all good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually brew it up in the teapot, and then we're going to pass it through a strainer. This is a great method. Like this is 3 to 4 cups. So if I was having, I don't know, well, with my friends, a lot of us are tea drinkers, so I might have to go with, this might be enough for 2 of us. I might make a bigger pot. But if you make enough for everybody to have 1 pot, you're having 3 to 4 people over, and you're going to do 1 pot, this really works because you don't have all the strainers and leaves and everything like that. You can just make 1 big pot, and then you don't have, this is a much prettier way to do it. So you can see the tea and the stuff. Whew, it wasn't even that hot, thank goodness. Such a goofball. All right, now I'm going to set my timer. My handy dandy assistant's having a heart attack over there. He saw the teapot, like he's like, it's a little wiggly over there.
Yeah.
Got all nervous. It's kind of funny to see. All right, and yes, as a reminder, I do use an actual timer on my phone. Let me go. All right. This is a green tea, so it's not only going to take us a minute, but this is a really pretty way of doing it. Your leaves stay out of sight, makes much for a more elegant tea. But what we're going to do is everybody at your table would have, or you would have one of these. And it is just a little strainer. I have a China one, but of course when we went to put it, I saw it, we put it in a very safe place. Super safe so that not even we know where it is anymore, and we both looked today. Now, as soon as this is over, we'll be putting everything away, and I will find it, and I'll be like, well, there it is, dang it. That's really pretty. It's looks like this, except it has, this would be the bottom part, and it would have an identical piece to fit over the top, or a little cup, and then there would be holes in the bottom to kind of drain it a little bit. Yeah, that's what I would do. But what you can do is you can just put these over the cup, and then as you pour the cup, can I have that towel, please? As you pour the cup, you will, thank you. We all know Lisa makes a mess. For some reason, this table just attracts mess. That's what I'm going to say. That's my claim for today. But you can just put it here, and then a lot of times these will have a base piece where you can just kind of fit it like this. And so it can drip in there. And then you only have one of these kind of off to the side when you've got your beautiful tablescape for Valentine's Day or Mother's Day or Easter or whenever you're doing your fancy tea party, or even just for yourself.
Arbor Day.
Arbor Day? I don't think so. But anyway, you can just put this here. So that's one of those things that I really like, and I thought I would talk about today. And we're not very long. And there we go. So, it's almost Valentine's Day, so I've got my Valentine's Day teacup. I'm going to move it over here so you can see it. I'm going to pour very slowly.
You make me nervous.
And my handy dandy assistant's getting very nervous again. And as you can see, most of the tea leaves are actually staying inside. Now I'm going to pull this out, and you will see, literally, because that's the first pour, that's all I got out of it, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I'm not going to be selfish today. I'm going to pour the rest of the pot out because we still want to take the water away from the leaves so they don't continue to brew. If you had an herbal tea, this wouldn't be as big of a deal because that doesn't have tannic acid to build up. So what you don't see is my handy dandy assistant usually steals all the tea afterwards. Anyway. Okay. Go ahead and take your cup of tea, dear. And then all I have in here are the empty leaves. I can't show you without dumping that. So That's how simple it is. But now I can literally just take this. See, most of them stayed inside the pot because they're a little bit heavier.
And that's a question.
And what's the best way to clean a gold mesh infuser? Well, the best way, Diane, is to have a husband who washes dishes. No, in all honesty, vinegar, if it's got any kind of buildup or if you have hard water, you know, tap it out, dump it out. I would do a rinse of water. Primarily get in there. I don't necessarily use soap in there because of the gold, but a good vinegar rinse. Even if you have, like, we have really hard water here, so I would let it sit in the vinegar for, I don't know, 30 minutes, take it out, and then just wash it that way.
So wash it too, just in case.
Yeah, just keep an eye on it, but you shouldn't have any interactions on that if you really wanted to sterilize it that way. That's how I would do it. Good question. So.
This is good. I approve.
He approves the tea that we already blended and made and everything like that. Stevia for me, no sugar, but I just wanted it a little bit sweeter tonight. There we go. Now, that's one way to infuse a whole pot at a time. Leave your leaves in. That way you don't have to have several cups that you pour and then have several batches of leaves. So I can do one pot. I'm actually going to use less tea that way than if I was doing them all over. Another way that we often make tea, and right now where we are, it's that early spring fake where you think it's going to be spring, but as soon as you start thinking springtime things, are like, maybe I could put my plants outside, or let's go plan to do something, you know, let's go to the lake, maybe we'll go out on a boat or something like that. Everybody's a comedian today. Yeah, then the winter's going to hit again and we'll get more snow, which that's okay. But if you want to have a cold brew tea, I just take an old-fashioned. This is how we make it. If you've ever come to an in-person event, we typically have a cold brew tea. I literally just put a mason jar, and then I got this infuser, and I'm going to bring it up. You'll see it has a rubber seal on it, or silicone seal.
Ooh, nor'easter coming up.
Oh, be careful of that nor'easter. Make sure you go and get all the milk and bread out of the store, because of course that's what.
Toilet paper.
But this has a silicone or seal at the top. You can literally put your tea leaves in here, put your water in here, put your tea leaves in, drop it in, cover it up, put it in the fridge, put it on the counter, put it outside in the sun. It's really easy when you want to get all of those leaves out. Typically we say if you're going to leave it on the counter an hour in the sunlight or an hour in the counter to 2 hours, depending on what kind of tea it is. Literally just take this off, tap it, put this in a small bowl, just like your other teas. You could go ahead and pour this into a bigger pitcher, start another batch, whatever you wanted to do. But you can still use the leaves more than once. That's how we cold brew. And I have to say, this is one of the best things. The whole thing is made out of mesh. And as you can see, there is tons of space. I'm trying to give you, like, that's really big. It is literally almost the entire size of my mason jar. So really, really pretty big. This is my favorite way to make the cold brew teas now, or anytime we're not brewing the hot teas, because this is just so much easier. And then when we do it, we even brew in small batches. Like, we will brew a teapot and fill up and do multiple teapots. We'll do the same thing with our cold brew. We'll like do one of these. If we're going someplace where we're going to have more people, we'll then take this, put it in another one, and do a second brew. But those are the things that we like to use. And those are accessories that most people think about, because you don't think about accessories when you think about teapots. So now I'm going to get to take a sip. I really love green tea in the evenings for some reason. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about was, I mentioned it's Valentine's Day on Wednesday. If you are giving your Valentine a gift or your Galentine a gift or something like that, it's not too late. I have a little Valentine tin here. One of the things that we offer, if they are a tea lover, is a custom blend that is custom to them. I was telling some friends this morning, we had someone recently order a custom blend and they want it to have peaches in it, and then I had like 3 or 4 friends right around me that got super excited because they've been on our case for a while to create this peach blend, but we haven't quite figured out what we wanted to do. So they knew that this way I'm going to have to create at least one, and of course I would need tasters, so they're very excited. But it's not too late. That's something that you can even do, and we can email you a gift certificate. Just thinking outside the box. If you're all of a sudden it's a last minute thing and you forgot.
Outside the box, I caught that one too.
Not everything is a pun, honey. Not everything is a pun. So, I usually do little sneak peeks, and I wanted to say we do have 2 things that I wanted to give you a little peek at, and one I want your input on. So this is one thing we have. It's a cute little green box with leaves, very springy for St. Patrick's Day. And in it, we have a 1/2 ounce tin. This is where I have to be backwards at the same time. Of Emerald Garden, which is just one of our straight green tea blends. Thought I was going to have to ask a friend. But there you go. Nice, big, huge green leaves. Very simple flavor. One of the reasons why we like this one is it doesn't have that bitter green tea aftertaste bite to it. So this is one of the things that you'll see that we're going to come out with. We'll announce a little bit closer to St. Patrick's Day, just as a little extra. We normally don't sell the 1/2 ounce tins separately, but we're going to do it for just a few days, like a short-term thing. Now, everybody, get your thinking caps on, okay? We saw this amazing, beautiful box, and we thought, we've got our next live show that we're going to do, the Mother's Tea Party live show, where we're actually going to, I would remind you, if you're interested in attending that, let us know. And if you want to pay the shipping, we will we're going to create a special tea for it. And anybody who wants it in advance, just let us know. If you're willing to pay the shipping, we will ship it out to you, a single 1 serve of it, so we could all enjoy the same tea while we're doing it. But here's the question. Should we put packages, so like 2 or 3 ounces of tea in packages in here? Should we put 4 different 1/2 ounce? Or should we put 2 1-ounce tins in here? What should we put in this box?
And the box folds flat.
And the box is really cool. So one of the things is this box is reusable. It actually folds flat. So it's super easy to store and use again. And we are not going to put it in the permanent box like this, because it's got a magnet on it. I don't know if you could hear that or not. So we will be able to ship it like this, wrap it up. But what do you think we should put in the box? Pouches of tea, 1/2 ounce containers of tea, or 1 ounce containers of tea? Let us know in the comments if you have an opinion. We're trying to get all that geared up. All right. Let's see. I talked about all of that. Any other questions? Okay. I'm not seeing any. My handy dandy assistant hasn't told me if we have any. So there's one other thing I wanted to say before we jump off tonight, and that is we will definitely be having a 1-day sale on our website
Ooh.
And that will be on February 29th, a day that only happens once every 4 years. So we will have a special sale. Stay tuned next week at our Tea Time Chat. We'll announce what it's going to be, whether it's going to be a percentage off or so many dollars off or a buy one, get one so many percentage off or whatnot. And it'll be one day only on our website. So Diane's vote is for a 1 ounce tea with a cup and saucer.
Think outside the box.
Handy dandy assistant, could you hand me a teacup, please? I think we have one on the table right over there. Oh, because mine has tea in it, and I'm not going to put the wet tea in the pretty box. We could do that.
Put the 1 ounce. We're getting all kinds of hands in here, right? Yeah. That's like the 4th time my hands have been in there for handy dandy.
That's just putting it in there right now, but we could put tissue in. Let's see. See how we could arrange it.
Aesthetically, containers would look best. That's what Betsy was saying through Kim.
Okay. I think I agree, but I do like the idea, so we'll have to play with it. Now, we have a couple of other boxes. So we went to the store, and of course they were at a discount, so we saw some really pretty Easter boxes. Hand me one of the other ones. No, we're not going to give away the Easter one yet. One of the long ones. The one on the bottom. Give me the one on the bottom.
That's Mother's Day.
So this was another one. This might work. And a scoop. Great idea. Great idea. Yeah. So this scoop. This might work better with the teacup go right here, or the tea go right here, and the teacup right here. That might work better for this one. So here's another really cute box. I couldn't resist. We knew this was going to happen when we walked in the store. We were like, oh, yes. Unfortunately, I had to stop myself with just a couple of these boxes because I was like, otherwise I'd be like, I want one of those and one of those. I know I want 2 of those for me. And no, we don't need any more boxes. So we did find some cute things for grandbabies and some from friends of ours, and a tea that we're doing at our church on March 9th. So if you're in the area where I live, you are welcome to join us at our church. Reach out to me. I'll give you more specifics. It's on March 9th. We are having a tea. You are more than welcome to join. Kim, I love that idea with the scoop. Betsy, I agree. I think the containers might look better just because the teacup handle. But I think that 1 ounce, Diane, with the other would work. Cup and saucer with tea bag assortment. You know, that could work too. We love the sampler sets. For some reason, the sampler sets are super, they're a great way for people to start with tea if they haven't had a higher quality tea, and then they get to try a bunch of different flavors and see what they like.
We did the 12 teas of Christmas, and they were popular.
We did ornaments that had 12 ornaments, and each one had 12 ornaments, and each one had a different tea. We also did an Advent tea tin this year for Christmas that had 24 different teas. You never know, you might see something like that around at the next show for Easter. It might be just 1 tin that we bought, so there would only be 1. And then the Valentine heart tins that we did, they had the ones we had for the show. We had 1 that had 12 teas in it and 1 that had 9. So all samplers. But I love the sampler idea too. People really enjoy that. So, all right. Any other questions or comments or feedback? The floor is yours. I'm just gonna sip on my tea.
Me too.
Before he steals it all. That's what you all don't see. As soon as the camera goes off, whatever I've had for sips on the video is all I get because someone comes over and steals it. Same thing happens with all the mocktails that you see.
Mocktails are good.
In fact, next week, I do want to talk about what are we doing next week. 40 days of reverse Lent. I love it, Betsy. That's so funny. 40 days of indulging in tea. Reverse Lent. I love it. Next week, we are going to be talking about milk tea versus lattes versus a milk-based tea. Because a lot of people don't understand those are three completely different things. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit. But
Now, would it be latte instead of lattes?
no, it would not be lattes instead of lattes.
Just curious.
I get, there are times that I just give up. There are times that I just give up. But, all right, well, I don't see any other questions coming in. I want to say thanks for joining me while the rest of the world is all watching football, which, I enjoy football, but I just enjoy tea a little bit more. And I didn't want to miss a Sunday with you all. So thanks for stopping by. We will see you all next week. Have a great week.